Hey everybody, it's me as always, your host Gambit896, and I'm back once again with another video for you guys. This is going to be my origin story of how I got into reading and reviewing comics. This is a mission that was put out by a fellow member of DarkAvengerINCPlus, my good friend Jeremy, aka JALGhul, and he asked us to share our origin stories. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I've been collecting and reviewing comics for about, I've been collecting comics for about 4 years. Been reviewing them for this June. It'll be a year at least on YouTube. Initially, how I got into the whole YouTube thing, I talked to a few friends and my parents about it and whatnot, and they said, well, you know, your mobile phone's got a camera. Why don't you just try it on that and see, you know, see what happens? And it's a phone that's very similar to this one with a camera on it. So that was my first kind of video recording device that I used. I did a couple of reviews on that, which I'll get onto those in a bit. And then I wanted to try something different, so I used my mum's old Fuji camera. And that worked out okay for a little while, and then I started having some problems with it and whatnot. And then most recently, for my 21st birthday on the 28th of December, well, this Christmas just gone, or a few days after, I got this new camera that I'm using right now, which is a Sony Cybershot. Just hang on one second and I'll tell you what the serial number is, or the model number. It's the DSC-HX10 camera. So this is basically going to be obviously my new medium for doing videos with this new camera. And so far so good, for all intents and purposes. On my latest vlog video, which I believe was number 8, I did notice a very orangish, or very orangey tint to the video. That might have been because of the light source I was using was a energy saving light bulb, which for all of my viewers out there who are watching from the UK, you'll know that while energy saving light bulbs are great for keeping the cost down and whatnot of electricity, they don't give out the greatest amount of light. But now I've got hang on. I've got a new light bulb, which is a electric 100 watt bulb, which is a white light bulb. So hopefully that'll get rid of the orange tint problem that they had with the energy saving one. Anyway, so enough about that. Let's get into my origin. Some of the first trade paperbacks or graphic novels I ever read, I got them from my local library, and I borrowed them and I read them. And when I went there, I asked the receptionist, have you got anything along the lines of bloody hell. Woo! Sorry guys, we seem to have a bit of a thunderstorm over here right now in Wales. Oh boy, sorry about that. I don't know whether the audio is going to pick up that big loud boom just then, but yeah, that did make me jump a bit. Anyway, so the receptionist in the library said that yeah, we got an entire room full of them. You just look behind you from where the receptionist desk was. There was a room full of graphic novels, and so I went in. I started having a look at the shelves and whatnot, and I picked up Watchmen. I picked up Preacher Volume 1, Gone to Texas. I picked up Neil Gaiman's The Sandman Volume 1, Preludes and Nocturnes. I picked up Batman Strange Apparitions, and I think that was it. I think that was the first couple of trade paperbacks or graphic novels I ever read. This was back way before the whole YouTube thing, but those are the first few I ever read. In terms of first comic book I ever bought, was actually Preacher Volume 1, Gone to Texas by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. I got this from my local HMV of all places. It was just sitting there on the shelf upstairs in the on a display section. So I thought, yeah, I've read this from the library. I really enjoyed it, so I'll pick it up. And that was the first one I ever bought. And then the first one that was ever bought for me by my mum was the Wanted 6-issue limited series by Mark Millar and J.G. Jones. So that was the first one that was ever bought for me. And then in terms of my reviews on my mobile phone when I first started on YouTube, I reviewed Transmetropolitan Volume 1, Back on the Street by Warren Ellis and Derek Robinson. Volume 2, Lust for Life. Volume 3, You're the Bastard. Volume 4, The New Scum. And finally, for Transmetropolitan anyway, Volume 5, The Lonely City. And this is essentially the first half of Warren Ellis and Derek Robinson's run on Transmetropolitan over at DC's Vertigo line. And then the next one that I did was of a massive a massive one-volume edition of an indie series, which I believe Simon, aka Mr. I Talk Apple, another fellow member of DarkAvengerINCPlus, a fellow YouTuber and a really good friend of mine, did mention that he wants to read more of the independent comics. The next review I did on my mobile was Jesper's Bone, the one-volume edition. This collects the full, I believe it's 60 issues, something like that, probably more than that actually. I'll have to put an annotation in as to how many issues this ran for. But this series won 10 Eisner Awards, 11 Harvey Awards, and this is just a fantastic, epic, Lord of the Rings-esque fantasy indie comic, written and illustrated by Jeff Smith. Hopefully you guys can see some of the artwork. It's black and white, as you can see, and it's a very breezy, cartoony book, in the respect that by breezy I mean you can just go from one issue to the next, and it has a certain kind of, oh, I'll just read one more issue or chapter feeling to it, and then you keep going and going and going until you get to the end of it. This was just a fantastic independent book, and if there's anybody out there who's fans of black and white comics or independents or wants to read something different, then I definitely recommend, this thing's quite heavy, Jeff Smith's Bone, the one-volume edition, which collects the entire series, like I said, by Jeff Smith. And that's pretty much my origin. And since then, well, since those reviews, like I said, I've gone from my mum's old camera to the one I'm using right now. In terms of series I picked up, without counting them, which I'm really not going to do right now, I've got a fair amount of series in my collection at the moment. In fact, I'll probably count these up later on, and I'll put this video up, and I'll probably tell you in an annotation how many series I've got. If I can, if I can find the time to dig some of them out from my closet and whatnot, because I've got some in an Amazon box just for storage purposes and whatnot. So yeah, and you know, since doing this whole YouTube thing, I've met some really nice and really interesting people who I talk to every now and again on Skype. GoCeltics53, a really good friend of mine. Simon, Mr. I Talk Apple, I talk to him quite a lot on Skype. Chris, DarkAvengerINCPlus, I've talked to Chris a couple of times. Speaking of Chris, most recently, Chris approached me to help him out with a project that he was working on at the time when he talked to me about it, and that evolved into the DarkAvengerINCPlus channel, along with not only myself, but Simon, Mr. I Talk Apple, Jeremy, aka JALGhul, Spider-Man 1991, Dowdy 95, Smashmaster 95, I think, Shadow Wolf 000, and I think I'm forgetting somebody else from the initial team. Well, anyway, like I said, that was the most recent thing that's developed for me on YouTube. Like I said, joining up and being a part of the DarkAvengerINCPlus channel. We've had some new additions recently, so to all of those people who have joined recently, hello and welcome to the team. Just sort of making it official rather than typing it in a comment on an intro video or whatnot. Yeah, I don't really know what to say apart from the fact that that's pretty much a very abbreviated version of my origin. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry about the cursing just now and the reaction to the thunderstorm. I do apologize. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. As always, feel free to leave some comments below in the comment section. And until next time, this is Gambit896 signing off, and I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys.